A very good morning, my dear students. We will continue with the third module of product lifecycle management, that is, new product development. We are going through the revision of this module. As you know, in the previous video lecture, I thought about the introduction of new product development. I told you the decision support system, building the architecture of decision support system, and structure of new product development, and all those concepts. So today in this module we will go through the contents. Now it includes new product financial control, implementing new product development, market entry decision, launching and tracking new product program, concept of redesign of product, and finally assignment questions. These are the contents. First we will go through the new product financial control. See, first thing is you have to know what you mean by financial control. Then it will be easy for you to understand what is new product financial control. See, now we'll go through the definition of financial control. Financial control may be constructed as the analysis of a company's actual results approached from different perspectives at different times compared to its short, medium, and long term objectives and business plans. See, what is financial control? It may be constructed as the analysis of a company's actual result approached from the very different perspective at different times. Maybe with the short term goal, long term goal, or medium term goal, objectives and plans. This analysis requires control and adjustment processes to ensure that business plans are being followed and that they can be amended in the event of anomalies, irregularities, and unforeseen changes. Why these analyses are required? These analyses are required to control or regulate and adjust the process to ensure that the business plans are being followed and they can be amended in the event of anomalies, irregularities, or unforeseen changes. Therefore, new product financial control means, for example, if you take a organization which will be having a short term, medium term, and long term goals, where you are going to analyze the results of short term, medium term, and long term goals. Why the analysis is required? To control and adjust the process. What for? To ensure the business plans are being followed, whether that can be amended in the event of irregularities and or unforeseen changes with respect to the finance. Understood? This is purely with respect to the finance. So with respect to the finance and with respect to the in the development of new product, that is called as new product financial control. What are the objectives and benefits of new product financial controls? We'll go through point wise. So first point is checking that everything is running on the right lines. See, whatever the meaning of this sentence is, see, whatever the business plan has been made by framed by the organization, whether that business plan is running according to the requirement. It may be a short term, medium term, or long term. See, sometimes financial control just checks that everything is running well and that the levels set and objectives proposed at the financial level regarding sales, earning, surpluses, etc., are being met without any significant alterations. Here, the meaning of this sentence is the financial control checks whether the objectives which are framed is running well, and that level set objective proposed at the financial level. This is a very important term, the financial level. You should not miss this term. Regarding scales, earnings, surpluses are being met without any significant alterations, without any problems, anomalies. That's what I told the previous slide. See, without any significant problem, that goals or the objectives are being met at the financial levels. That is the first point. The company thus becomes more secure and confident in its operating standards and decision making processes being stronger. Once you make sure that the company is running smoothly according to the objective framed at the financial levels, the company becomes more secure and confident in its operating standards as well as in decision making process. Understand, this is the very very important point, which is the first objective and benefits of the new product financial control. Second one is detecting errors or areas for improvement. Why the product new product financial control is required? This is also required for detecting errors or areas for improvement. An irregularity in the company finances may jeopardize the achievement of an organization's general goals, causing it to lose ground to its competitors and in some cases compromising its very survival. Therefore, it is important to detect irregularities quickly. So, I will quote an example for this sentence. Think that you have a short term goal for about 3 months. You set a goal, a target of producing certain mechanical components. Think that 100 components each month. For 3 months, it will be 300 components with a short term goal, right? See, if because of some irregularities or mishaps in an organization made you to not met that short term goal. For example, instead of 300 units, you would have given to the market only 200 units. Understand? So in that case, what happens? It makes the company to go into the state of jeopardize. Jeopardize means it makes the company to go into danger of losing its economy, of losing its survival when it comes with the competitors. See, sometimes what happens? It may compromise it with other competitors so that for the survival purpose. For example, today what happened today with the banks? See, they have merged because of this irregularities in the financial control. So here the new product financial control helps to check the irregularities on time basis for an organization so that it can clearly solve that irregularity in a quick response, so that the short term whatever the goals has been set or framed by an organization can be met easily. Various areas, now going to the next sentence, various areas and circuits may also be identified which, while not afflicted by serious flaws or anomalies, could be improved for the general good of the companies. See, you have to find out various areas and circuit, so that may also be identified which while not affiliated by serious flaws or anomalies could be improved for general good of the company. See, once you found out the defects or flaws, so that you have to make sure that defects or flaws are overcome by the companies with some adjustments or with the solutions. So that's what the meaning is. So this is about the benefit of having a financial control system for the new product development. Third one is the other uses. Financial control may also serve to implement preventive measures. It may also serve as implement preventive measures for the company from being losing from its competitors. It gives the preventive measures for the company. Occasionally, early diagnosis of specific problems detected by financial control makes corrective actions unnecessary as they are replaced by solely preventive actions. The meaning of this sentence is early diagnosis of specific problem. I told you, if you have the short term or medium term goal plan, if you have that any defects in between that problem, if it is detected by financial control, makes corrective actions unnecessary as they are replaced by solely preventive actions. So if you have any defects or flaws, those can be overcome easily by the financial control, right? Monitoring, communicate with and motivate employees. Precise knowledge of the state of the company, including its problems, mistakes, and those aspects which are being handled correctly, encourages better communication with employees and motivates them to ensure that they follow the correct line or improve the necessary aspects. So what happens here? The benefit of having the financial control is it will communicate with each and every and motivate the employees. There will be effective communication between the employees and it will motivate the employees. The precise knowledge of the state of the company, including its problems, mistakes, and those aspects which are being handled correctly, encourages better communication within the employees and motivates them to ensure that they follow the correct line to improve the necessary aspects. As I told you, I will quote an example for this sentence also. If you take same example, you have a short term goal of 3 months. Each month you are supposed to provide 100 units of the products to a customer for 3 months, 300 products. Think that in the first month you not sufficiently met the target. It will be difficult for you to achieve 100 products within the given time frame. So here at that case, what happens, once you have detected the flaw and they have taken the preventive actions, it motivates the employees to go into the correct way so that that kind of problem will never occur again in the second month or in the third month. So that is the benefit of having new product financial control. It not only motivates the employees but also effectively makes the employees to communicate effectively with one another so that the organization runs smoothly according to the goal or according to the requirement. That is the meaning of the sentence. See, there are many different types and methodologies. A very common set of steps can be distinguished in the vast majority of financial control implementation strategies. There are some strategies, implementation strategies of financial control. We'll go through each and every methodologies. Here, first method is analysis of the initial situation. The first step is to conduct an exhaustive, reliable, and detailed analysis of the company's situation across various areas such as cash, profitability, sales, etc. This is the first step. And the financial control implementation strategy is analysis of the initial situation. What is the initial situation of the first company? Here it may be with regard to the cash, profitability, sales, etc. The first step is to conduct an thorough, reliable and detailed analysis of the company's situation with respect to cash, profitability and sales. Right. See, first one has to analyze thoroughly how much cash is there in an organization, what about the sales, how much sales have been happened, then the profit margin. That analysis will be the first step. That situation of the company is the first step in implementing financial control. Second step is preparation of forecasts and simulations. On the basis of the initial situation analyzed above and the establishment of a set of parameters or indicators, a set of forecasts and simulations of different contexts and scenarios can be prepared. See, based on the, I told you the initial situation, based on the cash which is available in the company, based on the profitability margin and the sales of the company, one can forecast and simulate, so that in the context of scenarios that can be prepared for the future may be well known. So establishment of the set of parameters means you can set that goal. The short term goal can be met with ease. You can set some factor, establish a set of parameters or indicators, right? These simulations are immeasurably helpful in making appropriate decision on such crucial aspects such as investments, profitability, change in production system, etc. Once you've done the simulations based on the initial situation of the company, the simulations are immeasurably helpful in making appropriate decisions on such crucial aspects such as investment, profitability, change in the production system, etc. That is the use of having the preparation of forecast and simulation. That is the second step in the implementing strategy of financial control. So the third step includes detection of deviation in the basic financial statements. The basic financial statements are the documents which must be created by the company in preparing the annual accounts. The three most important documents are the general balance sheet, the profit and loss account, and the cash flow statement. See here, third one is detection of deviation in the basic financial statements. You can detect, right? The basic financial statements are the documents. What are the basic financial statements? Which are nothing but the documents which must be created by the company in preparing the annual accounts. The three most important documents are the general balance sheet, profit and loss account, and the cash flow statement. This analysis and test in different environments are a fundamental part of financial control, since they permit problems, errors, and deviations from the ideal situation or initial objectives to be detected early. Right? See, the analysis and test in the different environments are a fundamental part of financial control. Right? Since they permit problems, errors, and deviations from the ideal situation or initial objectives to be detected early. Right. See here, detection of the deviation in the basic financial statements is the third step. You are going to detect the problems. See here, the basic financial statements will be in the form of a document which may be in the balance sheet, cash flow statement, profit and loss account, right? This analysis, why this analysis is required to and test in different environments, are the fundamental part of financial control, since they permit problems, errors, and deviation from the ideal situation or initial objectives to be detected early. The fourth step, what is the fourth step here? The fourth step is correction of deviations. Financial control very little practical use if the proper decision relating to the corrective actions were not taken to get the company's account on the right track as previously established in the organization general objectives. See, the fourth step is you have to correction of objectives. One is to correct the deviations, correction of deviations. Sorry, here the financial control would have very little practical use if the proper decisions relating to corrective actions were not taken. If the proper decisions relating to the corrective action are not taken, then company's accounts on the right track as previously established in the organization general objectives. Here, the financial control will help to correct the deviations of the company. Right. The corrective actions will be taken in the fourth step. See, these are the new product financial control steps in implementing financial control, right? First is analysis of this initial situation. Second is preparation of forecast and simulations. Third is detection of deviation in the basic financial module statements. And fourth is correction of deviation. These four steps are the implementation strategies of financial control. Once these steps are implemented, one can have the early detection of the deviations of the objectives of the company so that they can take necessary corrective actions and can meet the goals which have been set within the organization. Implementing a new product development. This is the topic. New product development process is a multi-stage process. It is not a single stage process. It is a multi-stage process. Despite of many evidence of its success, many product development managers avoid to establish a policy for new product development process. Here, despite of many evidences of its success, many new product development managers avoid to establish a policy for new product development process. Their hesitation often arises from two reasons: having feared that a defined strategy may lose a chance to win, and they are not able to rely on formulation of a new product development process. Right. See, managers initially will hesitate to formulate a policy for new product development. Their hesitations arises. Why the hesitation arises? Because of the two reasons: having feared that the defined strategy may lose a chance to win, and they are not able to rely on formulation of new product development. Right. Here we propose few guidelines for new product development processes. As new products are in need to sustain with continuous success in this competitive market, the new product development process strategy must exist and must be in function to avoid time waste, effort and money, as well as employee uncertainty and ignorance to work. The meaning of the sentence is, as new products are in need to sustain with continuously success in the present competitive market, the new product development process strategy or the planning must exist. That strategy should exist and must be in function to avoid wastage of time, effort and money, as well as employee uncertainty and ignorance of work. So otherwise the company can't sustain. Implementing new product development is very vital irrespective of size of the company. It will be small scale, medium scale or large scale. What happens if you implement new product development process strategy? It will avoid the certain factors like wastage of time, ignorance and money, effort, all those things, right? Even people know about the importance and benefits of new product development process strategy. In many cases, so many firms are not giving importance to them. It's mainly because of two reasons. In certain small scale industries or small scale companies, they may not give importance to the new product development even though they are having the knowledge of the importance of new product development. What are those reasons why their company are not giving importance? Because management is not clear what such statement should cover. Because of the top management at the management level, it is not clear, it is not having a clarity what such statement should the new product development cover. Management fears that restriction may disappoint some useful or creative innovation. See, because of these two reasons, the companies hesitate to implement new product development even though they know the importance. So the second point is it fears, management may fear that restrictions. What are the they may have some restrictions that may disappoint some useful or creative innovations. That restrictions of that company will not encourage the innovation aspects within the company, right? So those fears and the first point, the clarity, are the two reasons why the company lag behind in implementing the new product development even though they are aware of the importance of new product development. Generally, new product development process focus mainly on two broad areas: to develop new users for existing products and to develop highly profitable and reliable products for existing and potential customers. I'll repeat this sentence. Generally, new product development process focuses mainly on two broad areas. What are the two broad areas? To develop new users for existing products, to develop highly profitable and reliable products for existing and potential customers. These two broad areas will be focused. One is to develop new users for existing product. Already product is existing. What are the new use of that product? That is the one area. And to develop highly profitable and reliable products for existing and potential customers. See here, see we will be have company will be having certain fixed customers. For the fixed customers or the new customers, highly profitable, the new product development gives a highly profitable and reliable products for those customers and even the potential customers. However, we have less understanding concern on effective implementing of new product development process. That is, how does an organization persuade and implant new structures, systems, process and behavioral patterns that strengthen its ability to introduce faster than its competitors and a stream of new products which customers value. Yes. Now the thing is, the effective implementation of new product development is a challenging one. We have less understanding concern to it. What is the meaning of that? How does an organization persuade or widespread organization extend and implant new structure, system, process and behavior patterns that strengthens its ability to introduce faster than its competitors and a stream of new product which customers value? Right, that is the meaning. Think that the organization is having a less concern of implementing new product development. That what happens in that case? In that case, it can't compete with its same kind of manufacturers or other organizations, and a stream of new products customers value, it loses its customers value, right? See, by implementing new product development, those what do you call lackings, those lacunas can be overcome. To develop a stream of new products, we need to know about the issues and challenges will be faced. To develop a new product, we need to know the issues and challenges which will be faced, mindsets, knowledge, problem solving mechanisms, specialized skills, processes, and management philosophies which are needed. So we need to know about not only the issues and challenges, the mindset, knowledge, problem solving mechanisms, specialized skills, process and management philosophies, all are needed to develop a new product. See, to develop the new product, all these factors are essential. Without this fact, any if you miss any factor, for example, a specialized skill, you can't develop a new product. So, to develop a new product, all these factors are needed. Multi-phased mindsets, knowledge of problem solving mechanisms, specialized skills, process and management philosophies, etc. The capability to manage new product development process require a group of abilities which are as follows. I'll repeat, to the capability to manage new product development process requires a group of abilities. To manage new product development process, it requires a group of abilities. What are those group of abilities? Able to integrate between different functional perspectives. The company should be able to integrate between different functional perspectives, able to interpret the needs of customers. It should be able to interpret the needs of the customers, able to forecast technological improvements, must be capable of selecting and prioritizing between projects. See, all these concepts should be possessed, or the company should have these abilities. It should be able to interpret the needs of customers. It should be able to forecast technological improvements, must be capable of select and prioritizing between projects. All these capabilities the company should have. Then only you can implement and manage the new product development easily. It has been observed that some firms manage innovation better than others because they have learned and developed better capabilities. Importantly, these differences may be individualistic or their specific technological competencies. So, you may observe in the market that some firms manage innovations very nicely compared to other managers because they have learned from their mistakes and developed their better capabilities of improving the product by implementing new product development, right? NPD. These differences may be individualistic, right, or of their specific technology competencies. There are three distinct problems for organizations seeking to improve on new product development process. See, here it is important to know the problems nowadays the organizations are seeking to improve on new product developments. What are those three different problems which are the company should look into, right? We will see that. First, new product development process should highlight wide capabilities but not definitely the constituent abilities and routines. The meaning is here, it should highlight wide capabilities but not definitely the constituent abilities and routines. For instance, many research studies shows that importance of developing connections and communicating with the marketplace by various functions involved in developing new product to satisfy marketplace. Ultimately, there is only minimum information except in case studies regarding how many firms are able to do successful new product consistently and effectively than others. See here, the meaning is research has shown that the importance of developing communications and connections with the marketplace by various functions involved in developing new products to satisfy marketplace. Ultimately, there is only minimum information, understand, except in some case studies regarding how some firms are able to do successful new products consistently effectively than others. The meaning is here you have to keep in mind 2 points: developing connections and communicating with the marketplace is the first problem, right? It has to overcome this problem. The firm has to overcome this problem in developing communication and connections with the marketplace, so that there should be no less information available for the organization from the market side. Secondly is the problem, since capabilities in new product development process are firm specific, what it works for one firm might not be same for the another firm just by copying and expecting the same results. See here, if one company products produces a new product, that means all the companies easily can't copy the same thing and produce the same component. It may, it will differ because of its skills, innovation, technical abilities, and their investments, all those things. See, each and every firm having their own restrictions. So just by copying and having the new product development, it is not possible. That is the problem, another problem. The underlying problem towards delivering capabilities is it is generic. There is no substitute for individual learning, understanding, and implementing. For example, many car companies visited Toyota during 1980s to know and understand how they can able to make cars so productively. If you take this as an example, many companies visited Toyota 1980s to understand how to make cars productively. The company was very happy to reveal the secrets of its approach in process innovations, and even there are so many books on the Toyota production system were readily available in the market. However, incorporating the underlying capabilities took considerably longer, and those companies which visited are developing their own versions of the underlying capability only by now. So it has taken a lot of time for those company who has visited Toyota to implement that kind of new NPD strategy. Now they are having their own way of developing the new product. So here the meaning is you can't just simply copy from going through the another company. So because of the each and every company is distinct, is unique because of its restrictions and what do you say, the capabilities. So here it took many years for the companies to get into the line or the way of productivity of car manufacturing like Toyota. Lastly, what is the third problem? The new product development process has been frequently seen largely in technical perspective, different from line management, and only slightly connected with organization strategy. It is now people started to realize that new product development process must be widespread across a firm, and that narrow driven approach will severely restricts the value of resources that can be applied to either product or process. See, the third problem is NPD is seen in largely technical perspective, different from line management and only slightly connected with organization strategy. The third problem is always the company looks the NPD in the form of technical perspective. It's wrong. See, it is now people start to realize that NPD process must be widespread across firm. That narrow driven approach will severely restrict. Implementing NPD process requires understanding of the process in a very strong manner, which support the introduction, development, articulation, and consolidation of suitable routines. See, the meaning of this sentence is, if you think in a technical perspective, the company can't just implement NPD and get success into that. So here, widespread, uh, in the wide view, if the approach is, then it can narrow the NPD, new product development process, so that one can easily have the new products which will be developed in the company, right? That is the meaning here. You have to understand the best practices evolving in the organization development field to draw a framework for determining implementation of changes in the structures, process and behavior. See here, one should have an understand to the best, to a large extent, that what are the best practices evolving in the organization development field to draw a framework for determining implementation of changes in the structures, process and behavior. By combining the two approach of product development and organization development, the implementation issues involved in new product development process will be solved easily. See here, the meaning is, by combining product development and organizational development, the implementation issued in the new product development process will be easily solved. You can't just, if you see into the technical perspective, the new product development can't be implemented. You have to consider the organizational development also. Product development and organization development integration will make the company to implement new product development easily. See, these are the three problems of, while if the company want to implement new product development, they have to overcome. Understand? Next topic is the market entry decision. Market entry decision or strategy is a planned distribution and delivery method of goods or services to a new target market. It is nothing but a planned distribution. You are going to plan the distribution and delivery method of goods and services to a new target market, to a targeted marketplace. It is the, in the import and export of service, it refers to the creation, establishment and management of contracts in a foreign country. Many companies can successfully operate in a niche market without ever expanding into new markets. On the other hand, some business can only achieve increased sales, brand awareness and business stability if they enter a new market. First thing here, you have to understand what is market entry decision or strategy. It is nothing but planned, I told you, a planned distribution and delivery method of goods to a new target market. Many companies can successfully operate in a niche market without ever expanding into new markets. Already in the existing market, they can successfully operate without expanding into the new market. On the other hand, some businesses can only achieve increased sales, brand awareness and business stability if they enter a new market. What happens in other case is, they can develop their own brand awareness, increase their sales and business stability if they enter new market with their strategy. And developing a market entry strategy involves thorough analysis of potential competitors. It requires thorough analysis of potential competitors and possible customers. Relevant factors that must be considered when deciding the viability or capability of entry into a particular market include trade barriers, localized knowledge, price localization, competition and export subsidies. Here, developing of market entry strategy involves thorough analysis of who are the potential customers, competitors and possible customers. Relevant factors that must be considered when deciding the ability to enter into the new market include the trade barriers. What are the barriers of the trade while are exchanging the products? Localized knowledge, price localization, competition and export subsidies. All those things should be considered as the factors of the relevance while developing a market entry strategy. Some of the most common market entry strategies are directly by setup of an entity in the market, directly exporting products, indirectly exporting using a reseller, distributor or sales outsourcing, and producing products in the target market. Others include licensing, greenfield project, franchising, business alliance, exporting, direct or indirecting, turnkey key project, joint ventures, outsourcing. Here the meaning of this sentence is some of the most common market entry strategies. There are many market entry strategies. Out of those, what are the common market entry strategies? Directly by setup of an entity in the market, just entry. If the company gives entry into the new market with their products, that is one of the strategy. Directly exporting of the products, indirectly exporting by using a reseller. See, they may use a reseller to which a company gives its product to the reseller in the foreign country, right? That is an indirect approach of exporting. Distributor or sales outsourcing and producing products in the target market. Others includes licensing is another strategy of market entry, greenfield project, franchising, business alliance, exporting, turnkey projects. What do you mean by turnkey project? A project where from starting from its construction to the operation stage, the whole company takes its responsibility for operating the new project, right? That is called as a turnkey. Turnkey means opening the lock by a key, turn the key. That means starting from the word from scratch to its operations of the company will take as a project and completes its projects and hand over the to its to its customer. That is the turnkey project. Joint ventures and outsourcing are the market entry strategies. Next topic is launching and tracking new product program. A successful launch begins with great timing. You might feel a sense of urgency to introduce your service, but rushing could spell disaster. When necessary, temporarily postponing your launch can mean the difference between failure and glowing reviews. See, launching a product into the market is not that simple. It is a time bounded and it requires accurate timing of when it has to be launched, how it has to be launched. Just you should not rush into the market. You can't postpone your launch by mean the difference between failure and glowing reviews. Many entrepreneurs launch their products too early to appease stringent timelines, beat out a competitor or coordinate with a holiday. When many companies was young, I asked myself two questions that can help you develop an appropriate launch timeline. See, the meaning is here many entrepreneurs launch their products too early to make pleas for the stringent timelines, beat out competitors or coordinate with a holiday, right? In that case, see here the two steps. Once you identify your timeline, follow these 6 steps to successfully launch your new product. Test thorough before your launch. The 6 steps has to be followed before launching the new product into the market. First thing is test thoroughly before your launch. Testing can help you verify that your product, company and audience are ready for your launch. Gary Erickson, owner and co-chief visionary officer of Cliff Bar and Company, for example, tested recipes for months before he settled on the first flavors for his energy bars. Remember though that perfectly is the enemy of good. As early launch of minimum viable product can help you get better data on what your customers actually want. first step is test thoroughly before you launch. See, here we have taken one example. Some recipes were launched into the company with a small quantity uh, to get a better data on what customer actually want. They have not rushed with a large extent of products into the market, but with a small amount after testing, right? See, invigorate your team. As you move towards the release of your product, your staff will have to adjust to new process, which can be difficult. The team has to be invigorated or educated in a way which, once the product has been launched into the market, they should have the capability of amending the according to the customer needs, doing the service, etc. Maintain momentum throughout product development and give your team members the time and resource they need to familiarize themselves with the new product and its customer support protocols. The time should be given for team members and resources they need to familiarize themselves with the new product and its customer support protocols. Maintain momentum throughout product development. That is the important step in the launching a product. Set attainable goals so your staff can experience small wins that build motivation. By setting an certain goals, so that the team members and experiences a small wins that build motivations among themselves. That is the meaning. The third step is prepare for an increase in sales. See, once the product is launched into the market, if there is an increase in the sales, the preparation has to be done in the company for the increasing demand. A new service can bring a sudden spike in sales. Okay. To avoid failure, you must ensure that your team is prepared for the increase in volume and complexity of work. Once the product has been successful in the market, if there is a very high demand for that spike, the team members should be ready, and complexity in the work should be handled easily by the team members. That is the meaning. To make sure you fill the all necessary position and educate team members on the vocabulary, process and features of the new product. That what should the management do here is, they have to educate the team members on vocabulary, process and features of the product, so that they can cope up with the demands of the market, right? That is the meaning. Prepare for increase in sales. That is the third step. Remember your core business. Shifting your gaze to exciting new product is only natural, but remember not to neglect your existing business. See, once the new product has been developed and succeeded, you should not forget about your basic product or the your traditional product which your company is building or producing, right? Strike a balance between giving the new product life and sustaining your established enterprise. You always strike a balance. You have to balance giving the new product the life as well as sustaining your established enterprise. You have to balance both. Next step is establish metrics as you go. Set relevant goals and regularly measure how well your service meets those goals. To set the goals and regularly measures, you have to measure how well your service meets the goals. In extreme cases, don't be afraid to scrap your product if it is not performing well. The company is not performing well of the new product, they should not hesitate to scrap it. Remember the principle of sunk costs. Just because you have already invested time and resources into developing a product doesn't mean you should keep trying to sell it. If profitability becomes uncertain, it hinders your company's growth. Once you lose that, once you think that your product is not doing well in the market, the new product which have been developed, you have to scrap it. Otherwise, if you keep on trying for the growth of that that product itself, you may lose your company. The company may drastically fail because of its revenue, and it may get into loss. That is the meaning. Sixth step is gather feedback after your launch. So always a feedback is a controlled, in control system you have learned feedback is a way of controlling the things. Always feedback is required. Analyzing customer feedback, then determine what changes you need to make the enhance your product. Always take a feedback from your customer so that you can enhance your product. That is the thing. These are the 6 steps involved in launching a new product program. What are the 6 steps? First thing is test thoroughly before your launch, test the product. Invigorate your team, that means educate your team. Prepare for increase in sales. First step is remember your core business, don't forget about the old product. Establish matrices as you go, you have to measure your goals regularly. Sixth is gather feedback from your after your launch from the customers. These are the 6 steps in launching the new product program. Then we'll go to what is tracking of a new product program. In the distribution and logistics, many types of products track and trace or tracking and tracing concerns a process of determining the current and past location of a unique item or property. It is nothing but it is tracing how the product, where the product has been moved, how the product has been moved and located, and gathering the information is called as tracking the new product program. This concept can be supposed by means of reckoning and reporting of the position of vehicles and containers with the property of concern stored, for example, in real time database. See, tracking is nothing but if you take for example vehicle is moving to a certain desired location, you are going to track at what time it reaches the location. That is the tracking. For example, this approach leaves the task to compose a current deposition of the subsequent status reports. Another approach is to report the arrival or departure of the object and recording the identification of the object, the location where observed, the time and the status. This approach leaves the task to verify the reports regarding consistency and completeness. Another approach is to report the arrival or departure of the object and recording the identification of the object and the location where observed, the time and the status. This approach leaves the task to verify the reports regarding consistency and completeness. So this is about tracking and tracing. The last concept is concept of redesign of product. In today's market, most company redesign to create new products. Redesign improves product qualities and reduces cycle time. However, most techniques limits innovation. The meaning is that in the design stage itself, there will be a necessary changes made in the product before launching the product into the market, new product into the market. The concept of redesigning, that is the concept of redesigning. See, that is limited by the innovations and the techniques within the company. They modify a single reference product which closely matches users needs and only introduce new products when major conflicts exist between user needs and existing products. This study introduces a new redesign for product innovation approach. The approach combines 2 or more distinct reference designs into a single new product. The process creates design conflicts. The induced conflicts stimulate innovation. At the same time, the approach uses structured redesign techniques and structured design principles to overcome the conflict, which improves solution quality and reduces cycle time. Here the meaning is the approach of redesign combines 2 or more distinct reference designs into a single new product. It combines more clearly reference design. The process of creating design conflicts, the induced conflicts stimulate innovation. At the same time, the approach uses structured redesign techniques and structured design principles to overcome the conflicts, which improves solutions quality and reduces cycle time. Reasons to consider product redesign. Why the product redesign has to be considered? You need to visually unify past products. To unify past products, the redesign is required. Your recent business performance has changed because of change in the business performance. If it is decreased, the redesign concept has to be considered. New government regulations or requirements. If there is a change in the regulations of the government regarding to the product, you have to redesign your products. For example, if the company is making the environment too much polluted because of the government regulations, it has to change its design. It has to redesign the product. You are expanding into new markets. If you are expanding the product into new markets, then you have to think of the redesign. Customer feedback and insight show that it looks better to enhance your product slightly. If the customer seeks the change in the product, then you have to think about the redesign concept. So these are the reasons why the redesign has to be considered. See, these topics conclude the third module, that is new product development, right? See here, in this video lecture I covered the topics of new product financial control, implementation of new product development, market entry decision, the launching and tracking new product program, concept of redesign of product. Understood? These concepts are very, very important. It has been done according to your syllabus, right? So now finally the assignment questions. You have to answer the assignment questions. Two questions I have given here. See, we have done the revision of the third module. I have given the assignment questions. Explain market entry decision and concept of redesign of product. So these two assignment questions, you answer it within the time period given for the attendance sake as well as for the marks. Okay. Thank you. We'll continue in the next video lecture.